My aunt went to her ex-boyfriend's wedding. My youngest aunt from my mom's side is a disappointment from the family. Like, even my parents tell me not to become like her. My maternal grandmother hates her, but she's the kind of woman I want to be when I grow up. My aunt is in her mid-30s now. She has a lot of tattoos and piercings, dyed hair, and played the drums. She is a bartender in a pub and she loves her job. So last year, after a bad mental breakdown, I begged my dad to take me to her place. I had dropped out of my final examination and I was in pretty bad condition. That's when she told me the story. She was dating this guy who she dreamt of spending her whole life with, only to find out he slept with his coworker. After a year of their breakup, the homewrecker comes to my aunt and gives her a wedding invitation and rubbing it into her face that she was pregnant. Well, the catch is, my aunt said gleefully that her ex was infertile. Him and my aunt had been trying to have a baby to no avail, and hence they went to a doctor. And the test results were sent to her. So her ex didn't know he was infertile. She said she didn't tell him out of spite, but boy did it play out good for her. Her ex was Christian, so they did not have a typical Hindu wedding, but the ones they show in English movies. My aunt talked to her ex's brother and convinced him to play a part in her revenge. The brother was up for it apparently. So at the reception, there are this walk down the memory lane kind of event where they show pictures of the couple. So after a few cute pictures, a picture of the homewrecker with another man kissing pops up. And then another, and as the bride was in a frenzy, the test result shows up on the screen and the slide stops. A written note saying that the groom was infertile. And boy, the aunties at the party were all in for the drama as the groom looked utterly humiliated and the bride was in tears. This is what you get for messing with a woman's true feelings. Man, I love my aunt. She's a badass.
Storytime on how my mom sold me to my dad and I became his wife. Okay, so boom, let's jump right into it. I have a mom and a dad and they're both in their 40s. I'm 11 years old and I never knew who my dad was. I was raised by my mom. To make things short, my mom is broke, she works 2 jobs and she can barely make ends meet. But little did I know my mom had a conniving scheme of selling me. One day I woke up and a man was at my room door smiling at me. Then here my mom comes telling me to pack up, get ready, then leave. She told me right then and there that I've been sold and I will be living with this man for the rest of my life, and she's gone. She said best $10,000 she ever made, and I never seen my mom again after that. It all happened so fast, I was so confused, I didn't know what was going on. Next thing I knew, I was living with this man, cooking for him, cleaning for him. When I turned 15, he married me and we had kids. That's when he asked me, did your mother ever tell you who I was? I said no, just that you bought me. And then he told me that he was my dad. I was shocked at first, but I never knew him. I never even knew he was my dad. So I just forgot about it. I didn't really care. Now our kids got a dad and grandpa all in one.
The thing about me is I am a woman before I'm anything else. Want to complain to me about your man for the 4,000th time? I'm here to listen, babe. I'm not going to tell you you're dumb. I'm just going to listen. Want to message me asking me if your man's been in my phone? I'm going to tell you whether or not he has been. I'm not going to tell you you're insecure and scream at you and flip out. Like, no. That being said, a couple years ago, a girl messaged me asking if she could use my pictures as a catfish so that she could see if her man was, like, cheating on her. Immediately, I was kind of here for the drama, so I was like, yeah, use all my pictures. Use my name if you want. Like, you're an idiot, Emily. You have a boyfriend. Also, he's gonna genuinely think it's you. She like did exactly that. She made an account with my name and my pictures and was like messaging her boyfriend off of it, and he was obviously messaging back. I don't know, I guess I kind of just assumed like after she'd gotten what she wanted, like him messaging back and her being able to prove that he's a lying, cheating, she would like get off the account. Instead, she used it to bully people, and I started getting messages from people's parents. Like, hey, I don't know if this is you or not, but this is like your account. It says your name and your pictures, and you're like bullying my child. And I was like, no, I'm not. I just was like, hey, could you like delete your account? They're saying like you're bullying people off of this account with my face and name attached to it. Like, I just really don't want to get like sued or in jail. She was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't really think about that. I'm like, girl, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Hey, well, a couple weeks go by and I get a message from her man. We'll call him Joshua. Hi, Joshua. Hi, Joshua. He's like, hey, I don't know if you are the person who runs this account, but like we've been talking for weeks and like, do you know who I am? And I'm like, this is sick. This is actually sick. Kind of conflicted because I'm like, do I rat her out that she's the one on this account? Did she not tell him that she's the one on this account? Did she not break up with him? So I unblocked this girl and I messaged her again and I'm like, did you even know this guy? Because he thinks that we're like talking. She blocks me. Immediately blocks me. So I'm like, you know what? I am not protecting this chick anymore. Like, I'm not protecting you anymore. I'm telling him what's good. And I told him like the whole situation. Like, basically your girlfriend wanted to use my pictures to be able to catfish you and see if you were a cheater. And then she was going to delete the account. He's like, I haven't had a girlfriend in 2 years. I'm just like, oh, so that's like beautiful, perfect, and amazing. Do you know her by any chance? Like, is this a person you know? And then I tell him her name. And it was his ex-girlfriend. She was down bad. Ladies, while I love all of you and you're all beautiful, perfect, amazing angels, please don't ever do that. Ultimately, she used my name and face to bully people and catfish her ex-boyfriend. She stopped using the account, but it is still up.
Do you ever look back at your old self and just feel so bad for the shit they thought they had to put up with? Like, there was one time I was working at a bookstore, and I felt really sick, but I couldn't find anyone to cover my shift, so I still showed up to work. And at one point, my manager noticed I disappeared for a minute, and she said, "Where did you go? I really could have used you on the registers right now." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had to throw up really quick, and I was in the men's bathroom because the line for the female bathroom was too long." And she said, "Oh, well, you're okay, right?" And I was like, "What?" I just threw up. And she said, "Yeah, but like you can finish your shift, right? You don't have to go home." And I said, I guess I can stay. You need me to stay?" And she said, "Oh, good, because I really need you to stay." And in retrospect, that was so messed up. That shouldn't have happened. First, also, could you imagine being waiting in line for the ladies' room and seeing an employee walk into the men's room, hear them throw up, and then meet you at the register 5 minutes later? That's weird.
My first day in Japan was literally the worst day of my life. I thought I had made a terrible mistake. I couldn't possibly be in Japan. A person like me just wasn't suited for such a well-established place. So I was a part of this program where we were all strangers, but we were all supposed to meet up in Japan. However, one of the people that I was supposed to be meeting up with was already in the airport that I was leaving to Japan from. They said something in the group chat along the lines of, "Oh my gosh, if you see me and you're at my airport, come find me." It was very much that energy, and the reason I chose this program was so that I could make friends, other people who wanted to travel just as much as I did. Her profile photo was attached to like our group chat, and then when I finally found her at the airport, I ran up to her, I was like, "Hey, are you so-and-so?" She kind of acted like I was a fangirl trying to get a picture. And I immediately sensed it. I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll see you on the plane." Like when I tell you so few words were exchanged. I don't know if she was saying those things in the group chat just to be nice, and she was super nice after we got to know each other. But I was like, this is going great. I have already lost someone's trust. So I got back in line and tried my hardest not to look over at them, because we're now getting onto the plane, which was of course full of many other Japanese people trying to get home or back or visit, whatever they were trying to do. And one of my movie options was the movie Bullet Train, a movie that I had been wanting to watch for a little bit because Bad Bunny is in it. So I heard it was like somewhat good. But I clicked on it and I could not in good faith watch a movie based in Japan on the plane to Japan. I just simply couldn't. I wanted to die. The minute you saw like the neon Tokyo City and like all of the Japanese characteristics on the screen, I looked around and I said, this can't be me right now. I look like a mega fan. I look like someone obsessed to the point where they'll watch movies about the country they're going to the country they're going to, which is fine, which should be fine, but I couldn't, with all my anxiety, do that. When I finally arrived, they told us there would be someone there waiting with like a sign with like our program name on it, and that we should sign in with them because they're gonna take us to where we need to go. So I go up to this lady who has the sign and I'm like, "Hey, I'm a part of this program." She's like, "Great, what's your name?" And I tell her my name and she's looking and she's looking and she's looking, and y'all, my name is not there. She's like, "Huh, are you sure?" Yes, I'm sure. I just sat on a plane for 14 hours. I'm really sure. She literally told me to go wait in a corner while she tried to figure it out. I was the only one with the name not on the list. There was like 30 of us. She was the sweetest lady ever, and eventually she did call to confirm that I was supposed to be there. But definitely not how you want to arrive in a foreign country. Not like that.